Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? So let's talk about Terence Crawford, man. I wanted to, discuss what I think Terence Crawford may do next or what he should do next. He has fights on the table right now, fights that he has guys that seem willing and open to fight him right now. He obviously is very frustrated with how the Errol Spence negotiations or lack thereof have been going. All the negotiating in public, it seemed like it's been getting to Terence Crawford. He's feeling disrespectful. He's feeling disrespected, and he feels like he doesn't need to chase Errol Spence any longer. That's what he thinks. He's chasing Errol Spence. And he's basically saying, I'm putting that fight behind me. And I know he really just playing hardball right now. He frustrated with how this shit going. He not getting what he want. He not getting what Bob Arum want. I'm pretty sure Bob Arum is telling him that he deserves a certain amount, and he's going off of. He's supposed to listen to Bob Arum. That's his handler. He's supposed to listen to him. So, he's just not happy with how things are going, and he's moving on from that fight, at least for the time being. So you got Manny Pacquiao, which is the guy that Terence Crawford really wants to fight. We know that Manny Pacquiao don't want to fight Errol Spence. He don't want to fight Terence Crawford. That fight is just, the likelihood of that fight happening is very, very, very slim. It's like a 2% chance that Manny Pacquiao will fight Terence Crawford. So let's forget about that. You got Sean Porter, who is actually the mandatory for Terence Crawford's WBO welterweight championship title. And I don't believe that Sean Porter has enforced his mandatory right to take the fight to purse bid if he and Top Rank can't come to an agreement. I don't know what's the hold up on that. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, and we'll be talking about that as well. But if Sean Porter hasn't done that, I don't know why he hasn't done that. If you're really serious about fighting Terence Crawford, you need to be putting the motherfucking foot on the neck and making it happen. So that's one thing. Terence Crawford, I don't really know what's the hold up on him making the Sean Porter fight. To be honest with you, I don't think it's Terence Crawford's job to be trying to fight Sean Porter. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a good look for Terence Crawford. I think it prepares him for better competition like Errol Spence. But with Sean Porter being in the mandatory position and Terence Crawford being the champion, I don't think it's Terence Crawford's job to be trying to chase down Sean Porter. Sean Porter need to be focusing on trying to make that fight happen. He need to be enforcing his mandatory rights to make that fight happen and force Terence Crawford to fight him if he really want to fight him. That's my personal opinion on it. But I do think Terence Crawford should be open and willing to take that fight, because look at the other options. Errol Spence is about to unify with Yordenis Ugas. You dig what I'm saying? Errol Spence on the same shit Canelo on right now. Like, Canelo can fight. He could have fought Benavidez when Benavidez had the WBC belt. He could have fought Jamal Charlo, but he said, look, I'm going to unify with Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to fight Caleb Plant, at the end and get all the belts and shit like that. He basically doing the same shit. So, and he can fight Terence Crawford right now, but they got issues going on. So that fight ain't happening right now. Errol Spence put out a tweet and said, we'll see who holding up what after I get this third belt. So he trying to get all the belts he can get, and then I guess fight Terence Crawford at the end for undisputed. That's what it looked like to me. So Errol Spence ain't on the table. Now, Virgil Ortiz just had a great victory over Maurice Hooker. Terence Crawford was actually at the fight. Of course, he is a stablemate with Maurice Hooker, and he got to see the fight up close and personal. And Virgil Ortiz, after the fight, he called out Terence Crawford. They even put the camera on Terence Crawford. They was pretty much going. I saw Terence Crawford like screaming into the ring and shit. You know what I'm saying little stuff like, oh, he ain't ready, this and that. But Virgil Ortiz says he's ready right now. Now, look. I'm gonna tell you what I think Terence Crawford should do. Now I don't know how likely this is because Virgil Ortiz just fought, so I know Terence Crawford wants to get a fight in soon. So how they can make that shit happen next, I don't know. But I think that Terence Crawford should call Virgil Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, Golden Boy. He should call their bluff. If they really saying that they want to fight Terence Crawford, make the fight happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why it's a good thing, because right now, Virgil Ortiz is hot. You got, not just the Mexican fan base, but you see how they was treating Maurice Hooker in the arena. They booed Maurice Hooker. They booed Terence Crawford. Now you can't say, oh, it was a hometown fight for Virgil Ortiz. That was Maurice Hooker from the DFW too, but they booed him because the whole stadium was full of Mexicans, right? So the Mexican fan base is going crazy over Virgil Ortiz right now. They saying he the next best thing. He about to be one of the greatest. He gonna be this. He gonna be that. This is a great opportunity for Terence Crawford to shut all that shit down. You know what I'm saying? If they really feel like this guy is the one of the best out there and he ready right now, Terence Crawford, I feel like this is a great opportunity for him to make a statement. This is a great opportunity to use all of the clout that Virgil Ortiz got right now and put it into his own favor. If you fight a Josecito Lopez, that ain't gonna do shit for you. If you fight Sean Porter, then good, because that, to be honest with you, that to me speeds up the process of making an Errol Spence fight, because you covering your mandatory, you get to keep your belt. And on top of that, it's a great matchup stylistically, and it's just a good quality fighter for Terence Crawford to be facing right now in preparation for a possible Errol Spence fight. But if you get Virgil Ortiz right now, Virgil Ortiz come forward fighter, similar to, he got that Texas style. He got that, steadfast, go to the body, use your jab to work your way in, relentless, strong, just like how Errol Spence was a few years ago. Errol Spence has become a more versatile, more complete overall fighter, just adding all type of different wrinkles to his game. And the mentality, he's just a more polished, and he's just a different fighter from Virgil Ortiz right now. Errol Spence is a different fighter than what he himself was, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So Virgil Ortiz he still got that style though. He still got that relentless, intelligent pressure. And that'll also be a good matchup. Even though he's an orthodox fighter, it'll be a good matchup for Terence Crawford to get him ready for an Errol Spence. And then on top of that, it's a lot of people that believe that Virgil Ortiz can beat Terence Crawford. So it's gonna be a fight that you can sell. It's gonna be a fight that fans will want to see. People will come out and see that fight. That will be a great fight. You can do it in Texas, where Virgil Ortiz gonna have most of the fans there. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have the hometown crowd. You can come to Texas and be the road dog. You can be the road dog, come to Texas and put on a phenomenal performance versus Virgil Ortiz. You beat his ass, you know what I'm saying? School him, knock him out, do whatever you feel like you're gonna do to him. And that'll make a statement. That'll tell everybody like, hey, what I tell y'all, bro, don't put these little peons in front of me. I'll beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever disrespect me like that again, talking about these young niggas can fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else who think they want the smoke, don't ever put them in front of me again thinking that they ready. I told y'all, bro, I'm the best. I'm different. This is a great opportunity for Terence Crawford to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Terence Crawford should call the bluff of De La Hoya, Golden Boy, Virgil Ortiz. If they really saying that this kid is ready right now, let's see if they really ready. Let's see if they really ready. If I'm Terence Crawford, my two options right now is either Sean Porter or Virgil Ortiz. That's it. Sean Porter, Virgil Ortiz. Forget Manny Pacquiao, forget Errol Spence right now, because we know neither of those fights are happening next. My two options, if I'm Terence Crawford, is Sean Porter and Virgil Ortiz. And to be honest with you, I'm leaning more towards Virgil Ortiz right now because his name hot. He fresh off a victory. Everybody done caught the vapors. Everybody saying, oh my God, Virgil Ortiz, he's a monster. And granted, he is a great fighter. I love Virgil Ortiz. But this, for Terence Crawford, This is a great opportunity. Make a statement. You know what I'm saying? The same way Floyd did versus Canelo. You know, Canelo was 23. Virgil Ortiz just turned 22. You know what I'm saying? Get him right now. Get him early. Get him right now. You might as well, because you still gonna get the same credit. They might try to downplay, oh, he was young. But you can't say that because he out here talking about he ready. It's a lot of the fans talking about he ready. So you still gonna get love and you still gonna get your credit. If I'm Terence Crawford, my number one option, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Sean Porter don't enforce that mandatory, Terence Crawford need to be going out to Virgil Ortiz. Why not? Why not? And then you can say shit. I whooped up on a Texas fighter. I whooped up on a Dallas Fort Worth fighter. Earl Spence Jr., you next. I whooped up on a motherfucker that came up in the same gym that Earl Spence came up in. You next. Virgil Ortiz got a similar style than Earl Spence. You next. Hey, that's what I think, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Who do y'all feel like Terence Crawford should fight next? And do y'all agree with how I feel, you know, the opportunity that Terence Crawford has in front of him to make a statement? Do y'all see the same thing that I see? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.